And every year at this time, we make it more and more exciting thanks to the Heritage Conference and the Road to the KCAC presented by First Commonwealth Bank. Jody Rainey is the president of the conference, and he's on the line with us this morning. It's been a while, as I said in the sports today, Jody. It's been a road that has been kind of treacherous. It's been icy. There have been a few detours, but we've made it. We're at the semis tonight. How about that?
Yeah, it is, and like I said, that's what we like. We like exciting basketball. We like it going down to the wire, and some big games just to happen this past weekend to determine the final teams that were going to be in the semifinals. So we got two great matchups tonight with West Shamokin traveling to Penns Manor for a 7:00 tip-off, and Cambria Heights will be traveling to United. Both games at 7:00. So we encourage people to go out and support those teams. But who's going to be in the finals on Friday nights? Anybody's guess at this point, because there's some pretty good basketball teams right there.
You betcha. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. A big salute to the athletic directors, the coaches, the team members, even the parents for putting this past weekend together. That was not an easy task to get all of these games scheduled and in, but they did it.
Yeah, we had our game over at United, and I know United had a Christmas formal dance, I believe, the same night. And so we rolled our junior high team over at 8:00, and our varsity played at 10. And, so, yeah, everybody had adjusted and adapted well and made it work. And that's what we expect, and that's what we want for kids. And I'm just really proud of the conference. And like you said, Todd, the ADs, it goes the whole way. The superintendents, the school boards, people that are, thinking outside the box to make sure we have this for kids.
Absolutely. Going to have good weather the next couple of days, so that won't be a concern to get the semifinals in. The girls' semis are happening tomorrow. They're just as big, and they all lead to Friday, and the road to the KCAC ends right there at the Kovalchik Complex, and that is such a big night. And Jody, it becomes bigger every year because people now look forward to it and put that on their schedule very early. As they get set for the high school. We're looking at District 6 playoffs coming up in just a couple of weeks, but this is big coming up this week.
It is huge, Tom. We want to create that atmosphere for our students, and real quick, you mentioned tomorrow night's girls games. The semifinals tomorrow night would be River Valley will be traveling to Penns Manor, and then Purchase Line is traveling to Homer Center. Both of those games also at 7:00. And again, that should be two exciting games, so encourage people to come out to the semifinals as well and check that out. And then you talked a little bit about, the excitement that'll be happening Friday night. First off, I don't want to forget this. I really want to thank First Commonwealth Bank, especially Greg Cephas and John Longwill and their teams, because, we lost our sponsor from the past. And they stepped in and filled that role, and they've been very committed to making sure that, we've had a 1-year absence and making sure this event's great. So before I forgot, I want to shout out to First Commonwealth Bank and especially Greg and John for everything them and their teams have done to make this possible. But you're right, Todd, I always tell you that I think what makes the Heritage unique is the fact that we are very inclusive to all students. We do a lot of things with academics. We do things with athletics. We do things for the arts, robotics. We do all kinds of different things because we want to celebrate kids and we want to celebrate and showcase their skills and talents regardless of what they are. So at the game, the doors will open at 5:00. The first thing I want to address is there's a lot of questions because IUP has have no spectators for their indoor, especially their basketball at the KCAC. That does not impact any capacities for the Heritage Conference. IUP, KCAC does have a masking policy for spectators. So we just ask everybody to be respectful of that and also to understand that, this is about creating an opportunity for kids. I know there's opinions out there on both sides and everything else. My thought is I'm just excited that we have this for the kids. So we hope people come out like they have all the other years and really give these kids the support and recognition they deserve.
It
that
does. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, I was going to say, Todd, that being said, 5:00, the doors will open. Tickets are $5. You can pick them up at the KCAC box office. So they're open anytime the KCAC box office is open. You can go in and get your ticket for $5. Obviously, they'll sell them there at the game as well. First game will be 6 o'clock. But what we do is we have 2 Heritage Conference students that will be singing the national anthems. That'll be Olivia Kramer from Penns Manor and Gabby Page from Homer Center. So we want to give a shout-out and thank them for agreeing to sing the national anthem. So our first girls' game will be the winner of River Valley at Penns Manor semifinal against the Purchase Line Homer Center winner. Again, that's at 6 o'clock. In between games, we'll recognize the Heritage Conference gives a male and a female from every school a $250 scholarship. We'll be doing that in between the games. So every student in the conference, a male and a female student from every member school will be recognized with a scholarship for their academic achievements. Then also in between or during the whole night, up in the upper concourse, we'll have our Heritage Conference art exhibit. So every school submits 3 or 4 pieces of work in any medium. So we'll be celebrating those kids as well. And then again, switch back in between games. We do a Heritage Conference Distinguished Achievement Award. This year, our 2 recipients we're going to recognize is McKenna Muir. McKenna is the Pennsylvania State Athletic Director Association. She is their scholarship award winner this year and across the whole state. So we'll recognize McKenna. And then also Mr. Mike Lee, who's a teacher in the United School District, who is, in my opinion, solely and very instrumental in the robotics competition, getting it started, training the coaches, just everything related to that. We owe a lot to Mr. Lee for the opportunities he gave the kids. And then we'll follow that with the boys championship game, which will be the winner of West Shamokin at Penns Manor semifinal against the Cambria Heights at United winner of the semifinal. So, celebrating the academics, celebrating athletics, celebrating the arts, simply celebrating kids in the Heritage Conference. So we hope everybody, regardless if you're in the Heritage Conference or not, regardless if you like sports or not, if you don't like sports, there's a lot to do outside of that. Come on out, support these kids, and enjoy the night. That's
one of the great things about this event, the Road to the KCAC, is that you can root from a number of different angles. I think the greatest of those is that you get to cheer on kids who are out there competing, giving it their all, and you see even through the road to get there to the semifinals these next 2 nights, you see how much it means to these kids. They really want to be on the court on Friday at the KCAC. They are working hard. And they, I go back, I believe it was the Livingston girl from Blairsville a few years back that had played in a lot of big basketball games, state semifinals, districts, championship games, and I believe it was her, one of the girls from Blairsville that said, I've played in those games, and there's no place like the KCAC. This is where I wanted to play. I wanted to play in the Heritage Championship game. They said the atmosphere is second to none. And that's what, that's what we're trying to create. We want that. And so you're right, Todd. It's like it means we want it to mean something. I mean, we know people love winning district titles, and obviously a state title would be fantastic. We want them winning a Heritage Conference title to mean something to them, too. And we also, win or lose, both sides are going to get an experience that they'll never forget, and that's what we really want to do and want to create. Yeah, and that Mackenzie Livingston, who's now an assistant at River Valley, that she's impressing upon her team members the opportunity that lies in front of them as they have the chance to get onto the floor at the KCAC. It really is an unbelievable experience for these kids, and to watch the level of play on that big floor. They are up for it from the very beginning. But that's the whole experience, is everybody is excited to be there and to get back into the KCAC. We never take it for granted that we get to go to the KCAC and watch this amazing night of basketball. But after having lost out on that opportunity last season, it really means so much more, doesn't it? It does. And I know, not to jinx this, Todd, but Homer Center is the defending girls champion, and we're in the semifinals. And it was great winning a Heritage Conference championship last year, but I really
I really felt that I wish those kids would have had that opportunity to do it at the KCAC. You know, it's different. It's really different. There's nothing like coming, as a former player and a coach of basketball, there's nothing like coming out of your locker room and onto the floor and just be greeted by a wave of like a couple thousand people. I mean, there's nothing that tops that. Nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so it's happening on Friday. Box office at the KCAC opens at 10 o'clock this morning. And the art show up front, up on the upper concourse, is amazing. You get to see how these students have worked so hard and the pride that they take in their work. You get to see the scholarship athletes as they are rewarded for their efforts in the classroom and on the fields and courts. And it just becomes a very, very special night, the crowning achievement for the Heritage Conference. And you wonder, you've got the Portage Mustangs, the Cambria Heights Highlanders, who are going to be Portage next year and Cambria Heights in right now. You wonder what they think as they watch this unfold and see what the Heritage Conference is all about.
Well, we were fortunate that Cambria Heights was able to come to a couple events once they came in at the KCAC, and it's definitely a nice selling point for the Heritage Conference, and and they're very excited. The one thing we will tell anyone is that we're at the KCAC. That's where we are. That's where we're going to live as long as they'll have us. And, they're excited to come. Portage, I know that they're sending up some representatives this year, and it's just impressive to see, Todd. For me, it's so rewarding because my career is about, kids. That's why I got into the job, to make a difference like teachers did for me when I was in high school. And to be able to sit back and not only see the kids be honored and have a part of that, that's very special to me. But also to have people like Mr. Bem, who was my big mentor and influence in my life, Stan Bem, when I worked at Purchase Line, to have those guys come and say to you, like, this is what we envisioned, this is what we wanted. And that's pretty special.
It really is. Jody Rainey taking some time out of his morning to spend with us. We appreciate that so very, very much.
Hey, thanks, Todd, and well, hopefully we'll be talking to you sometimes here before we get there, and definitely be talking to you Friday night, because we know you're the voice of the Heritage Conference basketball.
You betcha. You betcha. Thanks, Jody. Have a great day today.
Thanks, Todd. You too.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.